today I'm here to guide you through some ways to use blocks to support your pigeon pose. And there are a couple different ways you can use them. So let's get started. I like to come into pigeon pose from a downward facing dog. So you can get into your downward facing dog, spread the fingers out wide, press your hips away from your hands. And then we're going to start on the right side. So I'm going to inhale, reach my right leg up, bend that right knee and bring it down to the floor behind your right wrist. Slide the left leg back and let your hips get heavy. Now, for some of you, your hip might come right down to the floor. You'll notice, for me, there's a bit of space between my hip and the floor. So I'm going to take a block and I'm going to sort of tuck it in there. So you can play around and do what works for you here. Pick the setting that works for you. I like to just sort of tuck it in on an angle here. So just sort of the outside edge of my hip is supported by the block, but I'm not sitting on the block. It's just keeping me from tipping over, basically. And giving me a little support, so there's not so much weight trying to press those muscles down that are sort of hanging in midair there. And then you can sit up nice and tall here. You can stay just like this, or you can bend your back leg, reach back for that foot. You could stay right here, or you could kick that foot back into your hand a bit, and maybe even reach your right hand up. And then bring the right hand down, lower the foot. From here, you can move into a sleeping pigeon, fold in your upper body forward, and a second block can be really nice here. Again, you can set the block on whatever setting works for you. So there's 3 variations. This is a little bit too high for me. This feels pretty comfortable, and I can rest my elbows. You can even put it on the lowest setting and settle in a little bit closer. And again, play around with where your head rests on it. I like to just have it sort of across the brow bone. And then let yourself settle in here, a little extra support. Take a couple breaths here. And then we'll make our way back into a downward facing dog so that we can do the same thing on the other side. You could shake your leg out a little bit to get blood flowing again afterwards, if that feels good for you. And then put the left leg up, bend your knee, bring it down to the mat outside of the left wrist, slide the right leg back, walk your hands back so you can sit up nice and tall, and then grab your block, and you might play around with it a little bit to find the right setting and the right amount of support. If the block is too high, you will find it a little bit awkward. So just play around and see what works for you. And then option to stay like so, or bend your back leg. See if you can reach back and grab that foot. You can stay here, drawing the heel in towards your bum, stretching out the front of your right quadricep. Or you might kick your foot back into your hand a bit. See if you can reach this hand forward. And then lower the hand and the foot. Square your shoulders with your hips again, and then we'll make our way back down to that sleeping variation. And my block's already neatly set up from the other side. You can settle right in. Let the head be heavy, the hips be heavy. Breathe. And then we'll make our way back into that downward facing dog again. You take the block out from under your hip, tuck your back toes under, and press up, maybe shake out the left leg, and find your downward facing dog. Press the hips away from the hands, let the heels get heavy. Thank you for joining me.